Hello and welcome to Hanovi Global Network. I am your host, John Hanovi, and tonight is going to be a very exciting and riveting episode. Tonight, we are going to delve into the legal aspects of SCOTUS's decision concerning the Colorado ballot. We are going to use plain, simple logic, reason, and common sense to explain to you why Scotus's decision was the right and only decision to be made. Having thoroughly taken a look at the 14th Amendment myself and delving into the legal implications thereof, it makes me come to the conclusion that Colorado's decision was dead wrong, and it makes me question the actual motivations for doing what they did. Either these people are downright stupid, or legally dunce, or possibly there is some other ulterior motive. I believe the latter is indeed the reason why they did it, because I firmly believe that they are legal experts who understand that this case was a no-win situation and would have brought it not for legal success, but for a very different motive. They would have brought it because they wanted to taint Donald Trump's image in the public's eye. Firstly, they want you to believe that Donald Trump is actually guilty of insurrection. Keep in mind that there was a complete impeachment inquiry which led to nowhere. So let me make it very clear. Donald Trump has not been convicted in any court of law of insurrection. Now, I know right now that the Dems are probably bad-mouthing Fani Willis, and they're probably pissed off. Like, how could she? The hope was, by now, some major legal proceedings would have been taking place in Georgia, and it would have been plastered all over the media to get the desired effect. As I said before, the media mob, which is the propagandist arm of the Democrat Party, is busy doing their job. So the whole idea is to influence public opinion and to convict Donald Trump in the annals of the media. Now let's take a look at the 14th Amendment, and I'm going to put it up on the screen so that you can take a look and you can read it for yourselves. Now let's take a look at what the 14th Amendment says, in particular, Section 3, which has to do with disqualification from holding office. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress, or elector of president and vice president, or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state, who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress, or as an officer of the United States, or as a member of any state legislature, or as an executive or judicial officer of any state, to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability. Now, that last part is very significant. And we're going to take a look at it a little later in the show. So the question, or the disqualification factor, lies in engaging in an insurrection. And the question is, did Donald Trump engage in insurrection? Was Donald Trump convicted of insurrection? Did Donald Trump give aid or comfort to anybody involved in an insurrection? Obviously, the answer is clear, and the answer is no. There was an impeachment inquiry in which he was absolved of any wrongdoing. But these sensationalists and propagandists in the media mob will have you believe differently. They will show you the most reckless parts of what happened on January 6th. And they will tell you, look, see, that was an insurrection. It wasn't a protest. It was an insurrection. They will try to convince you that it was an insurrection. So let's take a look at what the 14th Amendment, Section 3, towards the end of the text says. And it says, but Congress may by a vote of 2/3 of each house remove such disability. So guess what? Even if that you engaged in insurrection and you are supposedly disqualified for running for office, guess what? Congress, by its power, it's empowered in this text in the 14th Amendment that Congress can remove such a disqualification, okay, by a vote of 2/3 of each house. And what is amazing? What is amazing? The right to remove disabilities imposed by this section was exercised by Congress at different times on behalf of disqualified individuals. A matter of fact, in 1872, the disabilities were removed by a blanket act. Okay? That disability or disqualification was removed by a blanket act from all persons except senators and representatives of the 36th and 37th Congresses, officers in the judicial, military, and naval services of the United States, heads of departments, and foreign ministers of the United States. So, and 26 years later, Congress enacted that the disability imposed by Section 3 incurred heretofore is hereby removed. So that disability has basically been removed. So what you see happening is an attempt, a devious attempt, to remove Donald Trump from the ballots and to sabotage his bid for presidency, or by laws that hasn't been used in 75 years, as is the case in New York. And here, they're trying to twist the law when it is clear, as I have just said, that this disability, this disqualification factor was removed by Congress. So now you understand that Scotus, being extremely versed on the law, had no choice but to remove this disqualification and ensure that no state has that right. And the 14th Amendment is clear. The state does not have the right. The power is endowed to Congress. Any enforceable power of the 14th Amendment is endowed to Congress. But they must think that we are stupid. Now let's delve a little further and let's look at the 14th Amendment again, but this time, Section 5, which is explicit and tells you exactly where the power of enforcement of the 14th Amendment lies. So as you can clearly see, the power of enforcement of the amendment lies with Congress. And if you think about it for a second, it would have been truly reckless to put that power in the hands of the state. Absolutely reckless and arbitrary. It would have meant that any particular state could have made a decision for the American people as to who they can vote for. And if a particular state does not like a candidate, then they can actually kick them off the ballot. Now, this is reckless. It's nearly impossible that the law would be set up like that. It's nonsensical. And they know that. But again, as we agreed, the aim is not about having a legal win. Because they knew from the inception it was unwinnable. But again, keep in mind, the aim is to discredit and to taint the image of Donald Trump and ultimately influence public opinion. So as you can see here, the law is clear. In the United States, insurrection against the authority of the federal government is a crime under 18 U.S. Code 2383, and which provides that whoever incites, sets on foot, assists, or engages in any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States or the laws thereof, or gives aid or comfort thereto, shall be fined under the title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both, and shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. It is obvious Donald Trump did none of these. So take a look at federal law. Federal law also grants to the President of the United States the authority to employ the armed forces of the United States and nationalized state militias to put down an insurrection against a state government upon the request of the state's legislature or governor. Okay? 10 U.S. Code 251. And to suppress or prevent civil disturbances, unlawful obstructions, combinations or assemblages or rebellion that in the president's judgment have interfered or would interfere with the enforcement of federal laws in any state, or have effectively deprived citizens of their rights under the U.S. Constitution. These and other provisions of Chapter 13 of the U.S. Code, entitled Insurrection, originated in two pieces of legislation from the late 18th and 19th century, an Act of Congress 1795 that extended to the President's Congress constitutional law. Okay? So there you have it. Look where the power and authority lies for quelling a rebellion or insurrection. It lies with the president. So it also begs the question, did the governor of D.C., I don't know what's the system, the state system, or did the state legislature of D.C. recognize that there was an insurrection or truly believe there was an insurrection? Did they request that the president take action to quell that insurrection or rebellion? If they truly believe that American citizens' rights were being trampled on? Absolutely not. No one made a request. No one did anything. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump had made a request for extra law enforcement resources because of the anticipation of the amount of people that were coming to protest. And that was utterly ignored. So someone who wants to engage in an insurrection, or who wants to promote or incite an insurrection, would that person advocate for extra law enforcement? Absolutely not. So it's absolutely nonsensical on every level. But again, keep in mind, the aim is not to win a legal proceeding. The aim is more political and for propagandist effect rather than actual legal proceeding. The bottom line is that all of this is being done to frustrate Donald Trump's effort. All of this is being done to sabotage his bid. All of this is being done to taint his image in the media and ultimately to affect public opinion. And hopefully, in their calculation, this will translate into more votes for the Democrat Party. So I hope that you have not been hoodwinked or bamboozled again by what has taken place. Okay? Many have seen the light since 2020. I hope that you would open your eyes and you would see the light 8 months before the election. And there's more to come. There's absolutely more to come. But I know it's the Fannie Willis's carry is over. It is over because I know Democrat upper echelon people are pissed, are upset. It's like, how could you drop the ball? And they are going to be unforgiving. So it's over. She's pretty much lost favor with the Democrat Party for her miscalculations and seemingly inappropriate relationship. It's over. And as I always tell you, just look at it. Every single person, every single entity that goes up against Donald Trump loses. Look at the fate of everybody that goes up against him. They lose. And as he would say, they lose bigly. Anyway, I hope this was very informative, and I hope you now understand that all this was a political stunt. It was not grounded in sound legal theory, and it was just a political stunt for political purposes. Good night. Take care of yourselves and stay woke. Truly woke.